Yeah.
What new releases did you pick up, Chris?
There's
Yeah.
no
What,
there's
what
no
is
new
what is your
releases.
latest pickup?
I can't say it's releases. It's just stuff that I've picked up. So I got this nice digipack of Dunkirk. I don't know if you've seen that.
Hello.
I've still not watched Dunkirk, actually. I really
I've
need
got
to.
it right there.
It's
You've not seen Dunkirk?
No, I still haven't. And I love Nolan, obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah, I need to.
It's magic. So
It's really
good.
nice. Yeah, it's not my favorite Nolan film, but it's definitely I hate using the word less complicated. That's not what I mean, and that doesn't. And if it's a complicated film, doesn't make it not one of my favorites.
No,
It's
but
just
also
some-
Nolan films are complicated.
You know what I mean?
Like,
Like you're watching Tenet, and I'm like, I need to lie down for a second. Like,
I find with Nolan films, there's usually a key, and once you find the key, then you're like, oh, okay,
right.
I got you.
I'm
I
with
got
you.
you.
And I wish I knew that at the start.
But
Yeah,
he doesn't tell you it. He doesn't ever tell you it. Like it took me. What was the most recent one?
Oppenheimer.
And we spoke about this. Yeah. Because it was the whole thing of like, oh, it was all from his perspective, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, of course, cool.
I mean, that makes you go watch it again, right? He's pretty clever with that, you'll go back and see it again. But it's I was on Vinted. I was just talking to Tyler about it, just to go on Vinted and you find some secondhand stuff. It's really good. And it's perfect condition. It's got a nice little book here telling you about the making of the film.
Amazing.
And it has a special never before released bonus disc, so that's very nice. Picked that one up. This is very old school. I used to do this all the time on YouTube. Like, welcome back to my collection update, guys. All right, then I have this. I don't know if you've seen any French cinema, but this is some Agnès Varda films. I'm a big wrestling fan, and the WWE were in France this week, so naturally it was just loads of French stuff on my social media. So I decided I want to watch some French movies.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
I watched
Nice.
some of those.
Okay.
I'm also a huge Jackie Chan fan. And just like Hong Kong Asian cinema in general. So they have a 2 for £15 deal in HMV right now. So I got Dragon Lord.
Amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah. Still in the wrapper, of course. And of course, Armour of God that I have seen before, but I've never owned.
I've not seen either of those.
This one is absolutely epic. And I watched it years ago, and then last couple of years, read this book. And he talks about some of the stunts from this one, and it is unbelievable. So picked those up 2 for 15, and then this was yesterday. This is a Sunday Times bestseller by Quentin Tarantino, Cinema Speculation. It's a book from my trip to Greece. So there we
Nice.
go.
Oh,
Cool.
It is about
amazing.
all the films that influenced him from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I believe.
I didn't know this was out.
Yeah, and it looks like, I don't know for sure yet, but it looks like there's chapters on individual films that inspired him.
Ooh.
That's
And
cool.
like
That's
what
really
that
cool.
led to from his sort of like, there's stuff with Brian De Palma in here.
Yeah.
There was a whole chapter on Taxi Driver, that's for sure. So some really cool stuff in here. And he's I think it's an easy option when people ask you, who's your favourite director, because there's so many like big films, but he's such a fascinating guy, And I hate, obviously, we're all weirdos in our own way, but he's just
Some
a bit
of us
a
are just
weirdo.
more into feet.
Right? Yeah. Have you ever seen? There's I don't know if it's the Criterion thing or not. Maybe it's not Criterion. There's like a video of him online, and he's like, it's his desert pics, and it's like the 3 films he'd take with him to a desert island.
Oh yeah.
And he's like walking around like a HMV kind of type stuff. Maybe it's like Best Buy or something. And he's just talking about the films, and he's making jokes that aren't funny, but he's howling at the fact that he just made the joke. And it's so Tarantino, so he's such a fascinating guy. You watch interviews with him, you're like, what are you talking about? But somehow you make so much sense. He's also made these absolute unbelievable movies. So I've never read a book by him, so that's apparently it's all handwritten by him. Well, not this copy, he did type it and it's been a copied version, but still, it is a book written by him that I've never read before, so I'm going to check it out and take it on holiday. That's
that's a great
Nice,
show.
man.
His deep dives, I imagine, will be thorough.
Greg, let's have a look at some recent purchases. I always like to ask you your new additions to your collection, because as you just said before we started rolling as well, new location, new recording studio, nice setup in the background with some books and some movies and some stuff.
Yeah, so we can have all the collection all in one place now, which is very exciting. Now, because obviously, post-wedding and post-honeymoon and post-house move, you can't splash out all the nice drinks anymore.
It's a thing,
I've been slowing down, but also I've noticed at the moment there hasn't been a huge amount of new actual like physical releases that have really, really grasped my attention. There's a lot of stuff that I've seen at the cinema that I am so excited for it to come out on a home release. But so when I bought these, I sent Chris pictures of them because this was my movie of the year last year, and it was Wonka.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
this is in a really, really nice steelbook design where it's like a tray made of chocolate designs.
I
So
mean, that's fantastic.
this was, yeah, I mean it's so nice, and like I can't even take the back sleeve off, but it's got like another tray with chocolates underneath. So that's Wonka 1.
That's fun.
Then
Wonka 1 by the way.
then we have Wonka 2.
Amazing.
That is now all of the chocolatey treats all in one.
Excellent.
And then we have Wonka 3, which is got Timothy Himalayan on it, and there's Wonka 3, and then we have what? No, I'm messing now. Just the 3. There was like a special version. Just the 3, but I'm that one I desperately want to keep. Those 2 may find another home someday. But I'm keeping them in cellophane, because I'm not an animal.
I mean, honestly, I do think there's going to be a point. Like the amount of digital things, it really is. The physical copies are going away.
Yeah.
Well, what company is it? Is it there's a company in Australia, I think, that have just said that's it. They're no longer releasing home media.
Indicator. Is it Indicator? Is it Network?
Something
like that.
There's some big company that has said that they're no longer going to make physical media in Australia. And then what's it called? Best Buy in
right?
Really?
Yeah, you can no longer buy Blu-ray discs from Best Buy. They've gone. So when we were there on our honeymoon, I was like, oh, I wonder what like American steelbooks are out. And then I looked on Best Buy, and there was a Matilda one, which Matilda has never had a UK steelbook release, and it was like 200 quid on eBay to get it imported over. So I just said to Luce, I was like, let's just see if there's a Best Buy nearby that has one in stock. And maybe like 20 minutes down the road, I was like, we're going. But if we'd have waited till now, couldn't get it.
Of course.
Because they've just gotten rid of it all. So then the final one is The Creator, which was a brilliant movie last year. So directed...
Yeah, me neither.
So good. So Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One, which is easily the best, in my opinion, the best Star Wars project since Disney took over. And then I'd say
first season of Mandalorian.
Ooh, controversial.
That's right. But only because it's going back to the source material.
Yes, yeah.
Which I think Rogue One did as well, where it was like it's more about rather than somebody talked about this, all the Simpsons writers were all media nerds, whereas now the Simpsons writers are Simpsons nerds.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that happens with Star Wars.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
With Star Trek, all of these things. So much of Star Wars is now informed by other Star Wars things.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else was all the weird things that George Lucas was watching, all these Japanese cinema.
Yeah.
Like Hidden Fortress and Kurosawa. Anyway.
That's such a good point. Yeah, and it makes sense because there's not I was about to say there's not a huge amount that feels like really massively original. If I can go that.
No, 100%. I think you're completely valid.
It feels like everything needs to kind of like feels like it fits within the universe, as opposed to going, we're gonna create something that.
I think that also has to do with the way that studios work and pitching, and the idea that almost all things that you're pitching have to have a tagline that is like, it's like this, rather than this is the story I would like to tell. We're going to, use this in these avenues. It always has to. It's the same with like new bands. You've always got to be like, we sound like Nirvana and Foo Fighters. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise people will be like, I don't know.
Who are you? Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that, and even Alien, when they pitched Alien, the tagline when they sold that film was Jaws in space.
Jaws in space.
Yeah.